Mr.A here. Double RT Boxing, ready, talking boxing. Talk that boxing. We're doing a pre-fight card review being held by King's Promotion on PBC on FS1, the toe-to-toe Tuesday card. Now normally on these toe-to-toe Tuesdays, they're your young prospects looking to make that next step in their career or a bounce back from like a layoff or something. You know, you usually don't see big time fights on a toe-to-toe Tuesday. Now, seeing this card, it all makes sense of who's on it. Now you have Edwin Rodriguez. He's a name, but he's making a year-off return from a knockout of Top Dog Williams at the StubHub. And his opponent is Giovanni Javier Gomez, who himself is a replacement. So Javier is much of I think just his hand speed is slow. He's more of a set trap type of guy. His chin's not too strong. He's there to be the comeback party for Edwin Rodriguez. Now, Edwin should make easy work of him considering his caliber and his pedigree of opponents. Secondly, you have the return of a heavyweight or former heavyweight IBF champ Charles Martin, making his second bout since losing his belt to Anthony Joshua. He's fighting Michael Maroney, or Marone, I don't know, I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced, but Michael, who's probably most famous for losing to Shannon Briggs during his comeback, and that's pretty much enough said on that fight. Martin should demolish him, should make easy work. Then you have, let that go by. Then you have a kind of a coming out party for some young cruiserweights. You have a 15-0 with 12 knockouts in Ahmed El Bali versus Leo Hall, who's 8-2. Now this should be it should be a good fight in the ring, because every now and then those toe-to-toe Tuesdays, like I said, they don't look good on paper, but they end up being some pretty good action because the fighters need to. It's that fight where someone takes a step back, or maybe even two back, and one takes that step forward. And the first two fights, Martin and Rodriguez, those are comeback fights, you know, get yourself back up. Now this fight is that fight where someone's going to have to go forward. You know, this is going to... Now, Leo Hall started 8-0, lost his last two. This could be bad for him. Now, Ahmed, 15-0, 12 knockouts. He's considered to be something. He's got a little bright cloud above him. I don't think he's going to go far with the way he punches himself off balance right now, because all he seems to rely on is power. He doesn't set nothing up beautiful. He just pressures you with his power. It seems like he usually has a size advantage over people. I don't know if he's fighting at his natural class, but just too small to go up. So he's at cruiserweight. He ain't got the talent like a David Haye to say, hey, I'm going to go up. Now, saying that, Leo Hall can be pressured, and this is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a good fight. Can Leo Hall, will he find a way to finally beat a pressure fighter, or will he be pressured into his 30 feet? Now, or can he use his boxing skills, control it with a jab, and outbox the pressure fighter? It's going to be interesting. I'm interested into this fight. This is the one that got my attention. And lastly, the main event is Miguel Flores versus Chris Avalos. Avalos, I believe, has 5 losses, 2 were in his early career against Martin, who's an undefeated fighter, and I forgot the other one. I want to say Perez, but don't quote me on that one. And then his last 3 losses, he lost 3 of his last 4. Going back, it was Carl Frampton making his first title defense, I believe. Then he lost. Then he won. I think that's who he won against. He won against Perez. I'm sorry, I forgot who he lost to back in the day. He won, and then he lost to Oscar Valdez and Mark Masayo. Those are 3 title holders that he lost to. So it's kind of hard to hold him against those losses. But he got stopped in all those. He got stopped in all those 3 losses, which you kind of expect, considering those other guys. Now, he's a pressure fighter, Chris Avalos. He's gonna be a pressure fighter, but he doesn't cut the ring off. And for some reason, this night has a card of unbalanced fighters. When he throws his right hand, his pressure is so wow. Well, it's not wow. It's fast, but it's not controlled. He throws himself off balance. He would bring his right foot over his chin or in front of his chin, and causing him to lean forward. And he's acceptable. He's acceptable to counters at that moment. Now Miguel Flores, to me, is the crispier, sharper puncher. Probably had a more of a boxer IQ with variations of punches and how to use the ring. He was on a toe-to-toe Tuesday card. He lost to Dat Nguyen, and that's what he's bouncing back from that. This is his bounce back fight from that loss. So like I said, this is a typical toe-to-toe Tuesday night. You got a guy bouncing back, and you got a Chris Avios, who's basically, where are you at in your career? Yeah, you're 3 or 4, but your 3 or 4 did come against title holders, but you lost 3 of your last 4. Where are you at? You got a prospect in Miguel Flores trying to bounce back off a stunning upset loss to Dat Nguyen. This should be fireworks. I'm expecting fireworks in this fight. All the way up until, I think, if Miguel Flores can handle that pressure, I'm expecting him to knock Avalos out. But if Dat Nguyen could break those pipes, get inside of Miguel, Chris Avalos has a great chance of doing so too. That could be. I'm expecting that fight to be a knockout. Someone's getting knocked out. So between that and Leo Hall, the heavy hitter versus the boxer, and these two guys, kind of balances it out. But still, this is a weak card to me. The young up-and-comers are saving it, but I'm going to give it, just on paper, a D- or D+. I'm going to give it a D+. This is Mr. A. Please subscribe. What do you think of this card? Thank you very much.